morning, you beautiful souls. Welcome to it. It is indeed a Friday. Welcome. The weekend is going to start a little bit early on your Feel Good Breakfast show this morning. Very good morning. If you need that extra motivation to get out there, get out of the house and go and conquer your day, we've got you covered for the next 3 hours. Hopefully we'll inspire you. If you're working from home today, we're going to take the next 3 hours and do our level best to distract you as much as possible. It's going to be an amazing show. It's going to be jam-packed here on your Feel Good show with lots of Feel Good local entertainment. We love the sound of that. We're going to be connecting with actor, musician, entrepreneur, Nay Maps. Is there anything this man cannot do? I doubt it. And we are going to be chatting to you, of course, about how you could be joining him on the island of treasure. Then, of course, Tabiso is going to be exploring the wild coast of KZN. He absolutely loved it, and that's ahead of Africa's Travel Indaba, a massive watershed moment for the local entertainment and travel industry. And then the celebration of local talent continues as we are joined by the cast of Indemnity, a film being released in cinemas today. It's local and it's lekker. So let's connect with the rest of our team. I think everyone's twinning a little bit this morning, but one half of that twin team is here ready to connect with you on the socials. Good morning, you gorgeous girl. How are you, Zoe?
Morning, G-Man. I am very, very well. Yes, myself and Carl, we are twinning today with our outfit, but this is the moment we get to connect with you on social media, and today is quite a fun question. We want to say good morning to you. What do you think is the most versatile vegetable? Today, we're all about chickpeas for International Hummus Day. I think everyone pronounces this differently. Is it hummus? Is it hummus? Is it hummus? Whatever it is, we are going to be celebrating chickpeas today, but let us know, which veggie do you think is the most versatile? Lately, I actually think cauliflower is quite versatile. You get cauliflower rice, you get cauliflower mash. It really is such a versatile veggie. But why don't you let us know on our social media, and throughout the show, we'll take a look at those different answers. So if you are joining us today for National Hummus Day, it's time to get the day started. Here's Carl Wasty with your morning headlines.
Thanks a lot, Twin. I'm going with potato. Thank you so much. Let's check out the national headlines. And starting off with the United Nations in South Africa. They've reallocated 21 million rand of its programming budget to support the government's response in the hardest hit communities following the KwaZulu-Natal floods. This was revealed by the acting president, acting resident coordinator and head of the UN in South Africa, Ayodele Odusola, who yesterday outlined the support the organization would provide to the province. He commended the relationship between the UN and the province spanning a decade and the support contributed during times of crises, including the COVID-19 pandemic and the July civil unrest last year. More than 50% of South Africa's adult population in 5 provinces have had their COVID-19 jabs. The minister in the presidency, Mondli Gugubele, said yesterday. He told members of the media, and I quote, "The cabinet is pleased that people continue to choose vaccination as their first line of defense against COVID-19. After statistics showed we have reached the milestone of more than 50% of adult vaccinations in 5 provinces. The cabinet has, however, expressed concern at the spike in COVID-19 infections in some parts of South Africa." On to international news. A Zambian president, Hakainde Hichilema, has met his counterparts from South Africa and Botswana, Cyril Ramaphosa and Mokgweetsi Masisi, respectively, on the sidelines of the Investing in Africa mining indaba in Cape Town to discuss trade and investments. He told regional leaders they would do better to cooperate than to work in isolation. In a communique, Hichilema said the engagements were an opportunity to discuss various matters, including the strengthening of trade and investment ties for the benefit of the entire region. Russia has meanwhile said it will be forced to take retaliatory steps over its neighbours Finland's move to join NATO. It said the move would seriously damage bilateral relations as well as security and stability in the northern parts of Europe. Of course, earlier Finland's president and PM called for the country to apply for NATO membership without delay. This comes amid a surge in public support for NATO membership following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And of course, Finland shares a 1,300-kilometer border with Russia. Until now, it has stayed out of NATO to avoid antagonizing its eastern neighbor. And Durban's iconic Umgeni Steam Railway is looking to fundraise more than 1 million rand to get steam trains running again after the devastating KZN floods. The non-profit volunteer-run organization said the railway line used by the trains was severely damaged in the floods, and the organization is unable to fund the repairs alone and is appealing for any donation, either monetary or of materials and machinery, to assist with repairs to enable the oldest volunteer-run heritage organization in South Africa to operate and continue providing fun-filled family memories. The Umgeni steam train used to run on the last weekend of each month for all to share the experience of railways past. The Nchanga craft market at Nchanga railway station is open every time it runs. And craft goodies and food and refreshments are always for sale on the train when it runs. For donations, send them a message on their social media pages. Let's help to get the iconic Umgeni steam train wheels turning again. Thanks a lot for choosing us, your Feel Good Breakfast show. Of course, Graham will always stand by and get ready for your sporting action after a successful Real Madrid night last night again.
Well, buddy, it seems we're all smiling this morning. Let's start on that very positive note. Thank you, sir. Footy news first, and Tottenham have moved to within just 1 point of fourth place to Arsenal. That as they beat the Gunners 3-0 yesterday. Harry Kane opening the scoring from the penalty spot. That was after just 22 minutes before adding his second just 15 minutes later. Rob Holding was then sent off for the visitors later in the first half before Son added a third for Spurs after the resumption of play. Elsewhere, Liverpool, they'll be looking to continue their quadruple pursuit as they face Chelsea in their FA Cup final tomorrow. The Reds have already beaten the Blues in a final of a season this season, lifting the Carabao Cup, of course, after winning a penalty shootout, a nervy one, 11-10 in the end. Then we turn on to international rugby news. International rugby chief Bill Beaumont announced on Thursday that the World Cup has been awarded to the United States for the first time. So the US will stage both the 2031 men's and 2033 women's tournaments, while Australia will hold the Men's World Cup in 2027 and the Women's Tournament 2 years later. And England have been named as hosts for 2025 Women's Tournament. World Rugby did not spring any surprises with their announcements either. Officials were determined to avoid a repeat of the situation when South Africa, of course, was chosen as the preferred venue for the 2023 World Cup by an independent assessment panel, only to ultimately lose out in a subsequent vote to France. Then we alluded to this happening this week. It's been confirmed. England have now officially appointed former New Zealand captain Brendan McCullum as their men's test coach on a 4-year deal. The 40-year-old will be in place for England's first test against the world champions, New Zealand, at Lord's, and that's on the 2nd of June. He, of course, succeeds Chris Silverwood, who left his position in February following the Heavy Ashes defeat in Australia. McCullum, who retired from playing back in 2019, has never coached in first-class cricket, but played 101 tests for New Zealand from 2004 to 2016, and he is currently the head coach of the very successful Indian Premier League franchise, the Kolkata Knight Riders, and had previously coached Trinbago Knight Riders as well to the 2020 Caribbean Premier League titles, so he certainly earned his stripes. Then back onto court we return as world number one Iga Swiatek has now stretched her winning streak to 25 matches, and that's against stiff opposition in the most recent encounter against Victoria Azarenka, who she cruised past 6-4 and 6-1 in the last 16 of the Italian Open, currently playing out in Rome. So the poll has now put together the longest winning run since Serena Williams wrapped up an incredible 27 victories. That was in 2015, and she'll now face 2019 US